Ivana, you are such an in-demand acting coach that you've been called the celebrity whisperer. Can you tell when someone is going to make it in the Hollywood business and how fast we can tell that?
Uh, well, it's not the issue. The issue is what I like to look at is how how dedicated they are to education, to working out, really working out hard, making it be about the work, about being proud of the work that you do. And people, I find that people come to Hollywood and they say they want to win Oscars or be famous, are generally people that will never make it because if their priorities in the wrong place. The people that really make it, like I've helped so many people come from nothing, they have nothing, virtually living with 8 other people, working 3 horrible jobs to get through their day to pay for their acting class. These are people that they just want to be really, really great and crafted and take chances in terms of their work. So, for example, Brad Pitt, who did I know he was going to be a star right away? What I knew was that from the very first scene he did a scene from Tribute. It's a play, and he really had good instincts, but more importantly, he worked really hard, and he allowed all that hard work. He was like one of those people that I say you have to rehearse 6 to 8 hours a week. Well, he always wanted to rehearse 2 to 3 hours a day, to the point where other people would complain. His scene partners would complain that he wanted to rehearse too much, and he became a star, and he didn't care about becoming a star. And the people that wanted to become a star wanted to work less and not really put the time in and really be tenacious about the work and the craft is people that you never ever will ever hear of. So it doesn't really matter. Like if I can tell, I want people to feel belief in themselves. If you believe in yourself, you work really hard, you take risks, you make bold choices in the inner choices that you make, as well as the choices you make in terms of the roles that you take on, then you will have that will happen for you.
You have been quoted as saying people pleasers never win. How does that play out in film acting?
Well, if you're trying to, I call it pleasing the script. If
Yes.
you look at the script and you do exactly everything that the script is telling you to do, what you're doing is people pleasing the script.
Mm,
And if all we needed was to be exactly identical to what the writer wrote, we don't need actors. We just put the script on the screen and read the script because that's all you're doing anyway. We need actors to plump it out, give three-dimensionality to the flatness of paper. And so if I'm going after something from a place of my own needs, my own purpose, my own drive that comes from the hurt and pain of and fear and fears and insecurity of my life, and bringing that to bear, all kinds of interesting quirks and interesting behavior is going to come from that that creates a unique and special and dynamic performance that people can relate to because it's fearless. It's fearless to really not care what other people think. And in order for me to feel like an audience member that I want to watch this, I want to watch someone who takes the worst of fear, the worst of insecurities and pain and trauma and drama, and they say, you know what, I'm going to do something with this. I am going to like use this not to self-destruct with, but rather to construct with the pain, use this as a powerful fuel to overcome and win with, and therefore creating a dynamic journey that isn't on the page. You know, it is
exactly.
something you brought to it. And so people pleasing in any form whatsoever is a turnoff. It's a turnoff to the casting director, director, producer to cast you. It's a turnoff to your audience,
The media?
um, and to the person you want to date.
Mm. You're right. You have coached some incredible talents, including Brad Pitt, Charlize Theron, Jim Carrey, Jared Leto, Beyonce, James Franco. What similar character traits do all these actors have that makes them successful?
It's really all about the equation for success in any business is work ethic, and really education, work ethic, not thinking about like 7 days a week, Sometimes I work 7 days a week, sometimes 16-hour days every week. And even when I go on vacation, I call it earning the tequila. What I'll do is like before I go to the beach, I'll get on the phone and I will do coachings, and I earn the right of my vacation. I'm work ethic, and taking risks, making bold choices, pushing the envelope, saying that any kind of boundary is meant for me to actually cross the boundary, to be able to say boundaries are there for you to cross and to pay no attention to. There's a boundary here? No. Like it's like coloring within the lines. No lines. Just go. See what happens. Go to the sky. That's the kind of thing that makes successful people of with in all fields. It's just like push the envelope, not care what other people think. Um, it's like Picasso. Picasso, which I happen to have in this room, right up there is a Picasso,
Oh, yes.
and and the thing is about Picasso is he said this is how I see life, but other people didn't because it wasn't realism, and what was going on at the time was impressionism and realism, and what he was saying I'm going to do. I see the world through cubes, cubism. And initially, when he put it out there, he was taking risks because nobody was doing that. The critics said he was bad. He said he's not a good artist, but he just kept following his vision and doing and working really hard. There's a lot of Picassos out there, so because he worked really hard, he was always working, and also was taking chances. And this is true of like if you're going to be the president of the United States, if you want to be the head of a corporation, it's like work ethic. You can't have hours. There's no hours. There's days off, and taking risks. Now, I'd like to also talk about fearless choices. You can't have fearlessness unless you have fear. It is the reaction to fear. So you can either take fear and be defeated by what fear is going to give you, and be self-destructive by that fear, or you take that fear and use that as the reason why you need to be fearless. So fearlessness comes from fear, and so for people to like embrace the fear that they have and use that to make fearless choices creates dynamic realities in all worlds.